Greetings, beloved. Blessings and peace. I am Chongfu. I'm coming forward today because I have an offering for you. I have something that I wish to give you that's very important for you to receive at this time. This is a very special time upon the earth. I'm sure you can feel that. A very unusual time, a time filled with deep darkness and extraordinary effulgent light. The most extreme darkness and extreme luminosity, and these times come at breaking points, at times of the rebirthing of societies, planets, constellations. The whole universe is in constant flow, in constant creation flow, and you are co-creators here upon the earth. And you have come at this time because you understand something very deep, and your soul has called you here. And all of this situation causes you to go through a deep transformation within. And that really is why I come forward. And many ascended beings at this time are coming forward to help you with this raising of your frequency, because that is what is required. But then what is the, what's the tool that's necessary in order to raise your frequency? It's a lovely thing to say, but what do you actually do? How do you raise your frequency? Why is the frequency low, and what gets it to be high? And there are all sorts of ways to really answer that. But really my work is quite practical. It's about embodiment. It's about, well, what does it feel like? And, it's coming into a very simple, you could say almost sensual experience of what the pain is, or what the blockage is that's holding you back from being the transmitter of your own authentic, effulgent, radiant light. You see, because you are that light, in truth. I mean, you know that. The very fact that you know you are this radiant light is what makes you frustrated, or makes you feel, there's something stuck, or this isn't working, or the only reason you feel things like that is because you know what it working actually feels like. You know what's possible. You know your potential, and you want to achieve it. Of course you do. But then who's going to explain to you, or how are you going to get inside yourself in order to know what to shift, what to change, what to let go of, what to bring in? Because you are a work in progress. You're not finished. You are creating yourself and recreating yourself, changing yourself, perfecting yourself all the time. And you might say to me, well, I don't know whether that, I doesn't feel like that. My life's really difficult at the moment. But that's the whole point. Everything that is in your life is, I know it sounds strange, but it's always absolutely perfect. But only from that point of view, or that angle of your soul. If you think about it that way, if you look at your life and you think, well, how did that breakup actually make me grow? Or how did losing that job, or how did that kind of stimulate me to lift up my energy? Or how did it happen that this grief that I've experienced through the loss of a beloved who's passed on into the spirit world, how can I possibly see that as a growth process? But you see, literally your soul all the time is trying to bring to you opportunities which often feel like impossible challenges, or kind of mountains to climb when you don't feel strong. But your soul is always doing that. That's the thing. You see, your highest self is your divine energy. And then you create these containers for different lives. And the soul of you comes forward into the life and brings the knowledge from your divine source, from your highest self. And you always have, in fact, that potential to use that light to actually bring your highest self in, and to feel the soulful content within you, and to bring love and healing deep into places where, in fact, you are in a sense separated from. You see, because when you have fear, when you have negative emotions, it subtly separates you from yourself. And that is the strange kind of ring past knot, you could say, of trauma, that when as a child, or even something you might bring forward from another life, and it's kind of in your child almost from the beginning, when you have that trauma, one of the things that is very common and not always understood is that the first response is, oh, I don't really want to be here. And so energetically, you separate from yourself. You kind of and you know this very well. I mean, you become a dreamer, you become somebody who's a bit absent, you don't want to feel the trauma, so sometimes you take substances, or you become addicted to certain kinds of actions and activities that kind of fill the gap or help you to manage and survive this separation. What has happened is that you've become separated from yourself. And all of these things that happen, you know, we need to talk about them, really. We need to bring it up to the surface. There's so much to understand that is very deep and very soulful about your being. And that is why I'm coming forward into this world, because I am an ascended being. That means I don't incarnate anymore, but I've had a lot of incarnations, been through all these processes myself, the human processes of soul evolution. And so, like many bodhisattvas and other beings of great love, unconditional loving beings, I am here because I can help you. And that is really why I'm inviting you forward. I'm going to start to introduce you to some very simple methods, because really that's what you need. Simple, easily accessible methods, meditations, techniques, understanding, pathways inside yourself. And when I say that, I don't mean, you know, that literally, kind of physically, I mean literally spiritually inside yourself. That basically you are a vast being. You have incredible resource, and I would like to say at your fingertips, except when there's trauma and when there's absence, it's not at your fingertips. So the idea is that by connecting and by working with me and other ascended beings and angelic beings, you can literally bring your own attention into the deep places of despair, loss, pain, fear, rage, grief, and you can literally transmute those feelings so that another presence comes in, which is the presence of your higher self. That's the high frequency presence. When that presence comes in, everything changes in your world. But of course, that presence can't come in if you're blocked, or if you're full of another presence, which is your more low frequency, which is where we talk about, you know, where you're gripped by fear, or where you're very reactive because there's pain inside you. There are old patterns of distress. You don't really know how to deal with them. You don't know how to be with them. And all of this needs attending to. All of this needs ways of movement, ways to work. And that is what we bring. And so we're going to come forward and bring you the first portal, the first step in, and to see if this way of working is attractive to you, is magnetic to you, because that's what matters. It needs to be easily doable, something that you can absorb and do in your daily life, because the most important thing is that you do the practices that are going to release you from the bondage of trauma, that you do these practices every day, and you realize how it came that you are at the place you are now is that you did whatever you did, you thought whatever you thought every day. You repeat it, and it might be a negative thought, it might be a painful emotion, but if it's repeated enough, it becomes embedded in your being to the point where you think, well, I am this sadness, or I am this incapability to change. I'm stuck. I can't move. But these are, in fact, what we call illusions, because your soul is never stuck. It is your mind and your emotional body, and often the physical body as well, are in habits of stuckness, which is very different to being, permanently, as it were, identifiable with that identity of stuck. You know, I'm a stuck person. Oh, she's a very closed. Oh, he's very stuck. These statements that you sometimes find yourself kind of believing about yourself. Oh, I'll never manage this because I can't move, I'm just stuck. I love the idea of things, but I can't actually move. And this is the purpose of our work. You know, our deep soul connection and this pathway that we're bringing forward to you, the pathway of prosperity, of abundance, the discovery of your inner power, of your inner resource that you have within you, pathways, portals that you can open to access literally infinite prosperity, abundance, everything you need. And yes, it does require that you change certain patterns, that you put new patterns into your life, that you realize, well, if you want to build a wall, it's brick by brick by brick. If you want to build your psyche, it's thought, by emotion, by positive affirmation. It's a building. It's a daily creative process, literally. So how to do it? And that is what I'm bringing forward to you, the how to. Really, first of all, I'm bringing you my masterclass that we're going to go deep, and we're going to go and find some parts of yourself, just as a little kind of introduction to what then becomes a much deeper journey that we offer you, to come deeper with us, to really make permanent changes deep within your being. And that requires a bit of a longer time, a bit of a deeper process, and some very deep understanding inside your own being, and the meeting of yourself deep within, and the love, growing the love for your own humanity. When you realize, well, I am actually the living spirit within. I'm the living spirit. I am the divine source pouring through this spirit into this body. I am the living spirit that dwells in this body. I am the embodiment of my divine highest self. There is no separation. And as day in, day out, you make those statements, you change literally the whole of your world within. And as your world within changes, of course, guess what? That's right. It radiates around you. It changes your environment. It changes every relationship. And this is what inner prosperity and abundance does when you claim it on the inside and you realize everything else is an illusion. Because the greatest prosperity of all is the ability to love, to truly love. And that's why you're here on earth. You are a soul who's come here to evolve. And that means to learn to love like Goddess God, to be the divine presence, the unconditional love. You might say to me, well, Chong Fu, there are some beings I think I'm justified in not loving. But the thing is, you'd be surprised, you see. In fact, every being in your world, it needs loving one way or the other. Perhaps not literally, you're not going to go and stroke their hair or kind of put your hand on their heart. But inside you, when you see a being struggling, even if they're being cruel or they're being negative or they're really, pulling the energy down, what you know immediately is that they need divine love. So in whatever way, and there are practices we bring forward for you to be able to deal with that situation where, somebody is making war and killing people. And how can I love them, Chung Fu? Somebody else is abusing children and women. How can I possibly love them? Somebody else is stealing from, beings who don't even have much in the first place. These people who go over to beautiful, poor countries like Africa and they take everything that belongs to the people. How can I love these people? Well, the thing is, what is love, you see? I think the concept of love it needs to be deeply understood. It isn't necessarily a soft thing. It's not a kind of, as I say, it's not stroking their backs or saying they're wonderful. It's not that. There's tough love. There's fierce love. There's powerful love. There's soft love. There's every kind of love. But I think it's to understand that you are love. That is why you are here. And so when we bring you on a journey, and we're going to take you on we're offering you a really deep journey, which is really about activating the deep abundance that is your nature, that is your divine nature. And when you come on that big, long journey with us, this masterclass I'm giving, this is a kind of a doorway, a portal in, and then we are opening a very deep and very powerful gateway for you to come deeper and to journey longer and to make lasting changes within your being. So I really invite you to engage with your higher self, with your soul, with your heart, and bring your mind into alignment with your high spirit and arrive on earth and learn how to make these deep changes. Learn that you are a flowing being, that you're always changing, that you can always make a difference within yourself and around yourself, and that this is a very exciting and wonderful time that you've chosen to be alive, and that you are already, if you're coming forward here and listening to Chongfu, you're already on the path yourself. And we are offering you an expansive journey that can take you very deep, and that can take you on that pathway that leads to the full manifestation of your soul's purpose and of the full presence of your higher self in the here and now, in your life, in your body. So I really look forward to working with you, beloved. Blessings and peace.